Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Books Whispers. My name's Leslie, and I was tagged by Jenny Jables in the book tag, the second tome around book tag, and it was originated by Julie from Bookish Travels One, and this has been changed around a little bit over the past 5 years to reflect more of the secondhand and thrift shops. So let's see if I could do this tag justice. Um, a book you bought for its cover. All right. I saw this and I thought it was it's interesting. It's J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst, and it looks like this is part of the design. Sorry, it's part of the design to look like it's been torn, I guess, the bound part. And it says one book, two readers, a world of mystery, menace, and desire. A young woman picks up a book left behind by a stranger. Inside it are his margin notes, which reveal a reader entranced by the story and by its mysterious author. She responds with notes of her own, leaving the book for the stranger, and so begins an unlikely conversation that plunges them both into the unknown. So then we also learn about the book itself. It says Ships of Theseus. So here's like the fictional book that we're picking up as a reader. And this is really cool. This is just like your personal experience with a book. I wish you could see this. So I open it up and there's like, this is a loose leaf, like someone left something in here. There's a couple of things in this book, so I'm trying not to mess it up. Here, I'll take this out. I love this so much, and I haven't had a chance to really like show it off, but the writing is in purple and red and black. And there's circles, and then there's some confidential letter that's placed in here that probably someone uses as a bookmark. And then there's a postcard that's left as a bookmark with writing on it. There's even a napkin. Come on, we've all used a napkin at some point to with writing on it as a bookmark. And so yeah, I wish there was a better way to show you this. But I've always wanted to read it. It's been on my shelf forever. And so the book cover, it just looks really simple, but then when you open it up, it's so complicated. And so I'm glad I picked it up. Number 2 is Show Us an Unexpected Find. An unexpected find. I'd have to say there's a secondhand bookstore near me, and I picked up 2 books by Octavia E. Butler. They have so many over there. I just, because of it's Octavia E. Butler, they're like a little bit pricier, even though they're like secondhand. And I want them because they're like the older version. And I like her original sci-fi covers because I think they just more exemplify more that she was a sci-fi writer. And so this one is Mind of My Mind, which I have not read these yet. I have a whole stack of Octavia E. Butler that I want to tackle as a project at some point. But my interview with the Vampire Inspired Readathon has kind of like derailed me, but it'll be a project at some point. I also have Clay's Ark by Octavia Butler. Like, look at these covers. These are so cool. These are like peak sci-fi. Come on. It's so cool. Anyways, so Mind of My Mind says, for 4,000 years, an immortal has spread the seeds of an evolutionary master race, using the downtrodden of the underclass as his private breeding stock. But now a young ghetto telepath has found the way to awaken and rule her superhuman kind, igniting a psychic battle from LA mansions to South Central slums as she challenges her creator for the right to free her people and enslave the earth. So that's wild. And then for how do I say this? Clay's arc, an innocent family carjacked on a desolate highway is abducted to a bizarre new world, a world being born in the California desert. Oh, there's a bug over here. Sorry. The California desert. They discover Earth has been invaded by an alien microorganism. The deadly entity attacks like a virus, but survivors of this disease genetically bond with it, developing amazing powers, near immortality, unnatural desires, and a need to spread the contagion and create a secret colony of the transformed. Now the meaning of survivals changes, for the babies born in the colony are nearly undeniably not human. So, sure, that'll be a whole just her books are just saying so much, and it's going to lend to a lot of dialogue. 3, you have a book you enjoy, you bought new, but then you find a used book that has a better cover. Do you get rid of the original? Do you get the second one? Or do you keep both? I'm definitely going to splurge, get the second one, and I'll give away the one that I have that I'm not really into. That's a great question. That is something I'd really do. Is there a book series that you have challenged yourself to collect purely from used books charity? Yeah, I think one would be Octavia E. Butler's books, especially like the older ones. But also, I think that's what I want to do with Gogi Watianko's books. I mentioned this in a previous tag, but in case you didn't see that one, he's an author activist that just passed away at the end of May. And ever since I started reading his work, it's one of my goals to read all his work. And so he's just left us such a large impact internationally that he's definitely an author I want to actually collect his work. Show us a book you have bought purely for nostalgia reasons. All right, I hope this counts as nostalgia, and I'll explain why. I picked up Writers Playing Video Games. So this is kind of like a two-part nostalgia. When I think video games, I don't really play video games as an adult, but I think about being younger, playing Nintendo 64. What the heck is PlayStation? I forgot which version of PlayStation I had. I would play, it's that 90s version of GTA that I really liked. Anyways, so this just gives me nostalgia vibes, but also my favorite author, Hanifa Durkee, makes a contribution, and something that he writes about is a feeling of nostalgia. What gives you nostalgic feelings? And also anything I read by him, even if it's a new work, it's going to give me a sense of nostalgia because I actually really miss his writing. He writes so beautifully. So that's kind of like a variety of different ways I'm experiencing nostalgia there. Let me see. Number 6 is kind of long, so to break it up. When you buy a used book, when you buy a used book, but you find out there are a lot of scribbles in it, do you get annoyed? No. I'll answer the first part. No, I don't get annoyed. I actually like it because I feel like I'm just stepping into the mind of someone else, or kind of snooping into how someone else thinks and feels. Also, how do you feel when you open a book and there's a note saying something like, "Happy birthday, dear. I hope you enjoy this book." I like those kind of notes because I just feel like the book was once loved. It was given to someone out of love, and they had to let it go. You know, there's plenty of books that I love that I'm like, okay, it's time to let it go and have another life somewhere else. It doesn't mean that it had any less significance or meaning to me. It was just time. So I really like that. This thing is really beautiful. When you enjoy a used book, do you keep it, exchange it for a nice, pristine new version, or give it back to the charity shop, used bookstore? If I have a book that's secondhand that I don't think I'm going to reread, I typically drop it off at my local cafe, Damn Good Coffee, because I have a small little like exchange, like a small little, what do you call it? A little free library. And so that's what I tend to do with books that I don't plan on keeping, is I like to drop it off there. Um, what was the other part of this? On occasion, like for instance, for Interview the Vampire, I read them so many times that I just broke down and ordered myself my own copies. I did have a used copy that I found at a actually found at a free little library, but then I found that now that the television show is back, I keep having to refer back to the books just to kind of remind me of like the differences, and for insights. So it's just a little bit easier to have the fresh copy that I could just scribble and is going to probably last a little bit longer than the used copy that I had that I just kind of, I actually took to Damn Good Coffee. All right, everyone, that is the end. I actually really enjoyed this one. I'm really enjoying these book tags. They're a little bit on the short side because I could just get through more. Um, Thank you, Jenny, again for tagging me. This was just an absolute joy. So remember, life is chaos. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and read more books.